Lately, trying to keep up with everything happening in DeFi, it feels like you're just drowning in complexity, right?
Oh, absolutely. You've got all these different blockchains, protocols popping up everywhere. It's a lot.
It really is. Fantastic innovation, sure, but it's also just, well, overwhelming if you're not deep in the weeds technically.
Exactly. Which is why today we thought we'd dive into a project that's trying to be a kind of guide through all that.
Yeah, we're looking at Orbit. The ticker is GRIFT, G-R-I-F-T.
Yeah.
It's built on Solana. And the big idea is using AI, artificial intelligence, to make DeFi operations feel, well, simpler. Maybe even just like having a chat.
Right. And our goal here is really to understand how Orbit is trying to do this. What's their angle? What makes them different?
And for this, we're drawing on their official platform overview. We've got data from CoinMarketCap, even their Notion site.
Yeah, that Notion site's interesting. You actually need JavaScript enabled to see the content properly. Sort of like needing a specific key for a specific lock.
Okay, got it. So the mission today, figure out how Orbit aims to make DeFi more accessible and what's unique about it.
Let's do it.
So simplifying DeFi with AI sounds good, but let's, get practical. What does Orbit actually do?
Okay, so at its core, Orbit is this AI-powered platform, right? And it's designed to automate those sometimes really fiddly cross-chain DeFi tasks.
Fiddly is a good word for it.
Yeah, definitely. But the really clever part is how it uses natural language. So instead of clicking through 10 different screens and confirming transactions, you could literally just tell Orbit something like, swap my SOL for USDC on Solana, and the AI agents behind the scenes, they just handle it.
Wow, okay. That does sound much smoother.
Yeah.
You mentioned cross-chain. Maybe just quickly, for anyone less familiar, what does that mean in this context?
Good point. Yeah, cross-chain basically just means moving or using your crypto across different blockchain networks. Think of it like, I don't know, moving money between Bank of America and Chase, but for crypto assets.
Gotcha. And how wide does this reach? How many chains are we talking about?
It's surprisingly broad, actually. They're integrated with something like 178 DeFi protocols.
178.
Yeah, and that's spread across over 116 different blockchains. So it lets you do a whole range of things: basic swaps, bridging assets between chains, staking, which is kind of like earning interest,
Right.
lending, all managed through this one AI interface. The big picture goal really is democratizing DeFi, making it usable for, well, everyone, not just the super technical folks.
Okay, so Orbit's the brain. What about the GRIFT token? Where does that fit in?
GRIFT. That's the platform's own utility token, and it's pretty central to how things work.
How so?
Well, primarily, you use GRIFT to pay the fees when the AI agents do stuff for you. So if an agent makes a trade or optimizes your liquidity pool or whatever, that costs a little GRIFT.
Okay, transaction fees, basically.
Exactly. But it's also more than that. Holding GRIFT lets you create your own custom AI agents. You can tailor them for specific strategies you have in mind. And like a lot of these tokens, it gives you a say in governance. You get to vote on the future direction of the platform.
Creating your own DeFi robot?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty advanced. Tell me more about this AI agent framework. How does that work? These skill trees you mentioned.
Yeah, the skill trees concept is quite neat. Think of them as like pre-built capabilities or functions, little modules of skills.
Okay.
And users can pick and mix these skills to build an agent for a very specific job. So it's not just one big AI doing everything. You could build one agent that's really good at, say, yield farming on Polygon, another one that just hunts for airdrops automatically, or one optimized for bridging assets super efficiently between, I don't know, Solana and Avalanche.
So specialized assistance.
Pretty much. And they've made it accessible across different places, too, not just a web app or mobile app. You can use Telegram, Discord. The idea is your DeFi helper is kind of always there.
Like having a DeFi expert on speed dial, but through Discord. Okay, but automation, agents making trades. What about risk? Are there safeguards?
Yeah, that's obviously super important. They say they've built in risk management features using their AI.
How does that work?
The AI models try to optimize things like gas costs, the blockchain transaction fees. They also work on minimizing slippage.
Right, the difference between the price you expect and the price you actually get.
Exactly, especially in fast-moving markets. And it even tries to assess counterparty risk, the chance the other side of a DeFi transaction might, well, not deliver. The AI is supposedly analyzing conditions in real time to try and head off those problems.
Okay, so risk management is definitely part of the design. That's good to hear. Now, what about the team? Who actually built this?
So the co-founders are Christopher Rees and Ryan McNutt. Both seem to have pretty solid backgrounds.
In what areas?
Rees comes from AI and data science. He was actually an early employee at Silence, that cybersecurity firm BlackBerry bought for a lot of money.
Oh, right, silence, okay.
Yeah, and apparently he's been looking into crypto security specifically since way back in 2014.
The early days.
Definitely. And McNutt is described as a serial AI entrepreneur. He even built his own Bitcoin trading bot with AI back in 2017.
So they've both been in these spaces, AI and crypto, for a while.
Seems like it. And interestingly, their first project together back in December 2021 was more focused on developers something called chain abstraction, making it easier to build across chains. That eventually evolved into Orbit, which is more user-focused.
Okay, so experienced founders.
Yeah.
Where does Orbit sit now in the whole DeFi landscape? Are there competitors doing similar things?
Yeah, they're definitely positioning themselves in this emerging sort of DeFi space, DeFi plus AI.
DeFAI, okay.
As for competitors, well, you've got projects like Banker, ticker BNKR. They also offer an AI assistant for some trading and wallet stuff. But from what we can see, maybe with less blockchain support than Orbit, and Orbit has that custom agent feature.
Right.
Then there's Hotkey Swap, HLTE. That seems more focused on being a really smart desk aggregator, finding the best prices, plus analytics.
So more about the trading aspect.
Yeah, whereas Orbit seems to be going for a more holistic approach, not just trades, but also governance, building your own agents, the cross-chain bridging, kind of the whole life cycle.
That wider scope does sound like a potential edge.
Mhm.
What's the buzz around Orbit recently? Any significant news or sentiment shifts?
There have been a few things. About 3 months back, they announced a partnership with IO.net.
IO.net.
Yeah.
They do decentralized GPUs, right?
Exactly. Decentralized GPU clusters. The idea there is to boost the auditability of Orbit's AI, make it more transparent, and also potentially cut down on costs.
Makes sense. Anything else?
Yeah, they've gotten some nods from the industry. Chaincatcher called them one of the 10 trending DeFAI projects back in January 25. And CoinMarketCap Academy did a piece on them in March 25, titled something like Crypto Overwhelm. Meet Orbit Finance's AI agents.
Okay, so getting some visibility.
And CMC also tagged them under Binance Alpha, which sometimes highlights projects gaining early interest. But interestingly, if you look at CoinGecko right now, community sentiment seems pretty split, like 50% bullish, 50% bearish.
50-50. That suggests people are still kind of figuring it out, maybe, or debating its potential.
Could be. Yeah, definitely indicates the market hasn't fully made up its mind yet.
Okay, let's dig into the GRIFT token itself then. What do the tokenomics look like? Any on-chain insights?
Sure. So the total supply and the circulating supply are both sitting around 1 billion GRFT tokens. That suggests pretty much everything is out there now.
All tokens circulating.
Okay. Their volume to market cap ratio is around 30%, which is generally seen as pretty healthy, suggests decent trading activity and liquidity.
And where's the trading?
It's a mix. You've got centralized exchanges like LBank and MEXC, but also decentralized ones on Solana like Radium. So accessible in different places.
What about who holds the tokens? Any major concentrations?
Well, the distribution shows about 12% was initially set aside for the team, investors, and early airdrops. But crucially, that's tied to a vesting schedule.
Ah, vesting. How does that work here?
It's a gradual release. Monthly unlocks over 12 months. The community tokens are fully out by month 6, and the team and investor tokens are fully unlocked by month 12.
So that's designed to prevent a huge sell-off all at once, right?
That's usually the goal, yeah. Stagger the release to manage potential sell pressure.
Okay, vesting is definitely key. Taking all this in, what are the main risks someone should keep in mind with Orbit?
Well, a few things stand out. First, just the sheer number of integrations, over 170 protocols. While that's powerful, it also increases the complexity and potentially the attack surface.
More moving parts, more potential points of failure.
Potentially, yeah. So really strong security audits and transparency are going to be vital there. Then, as we just mentioned, those vesting unlocks, especially around month 6 and month 12, could impact the GRFT token price.
Worth watching those dates.
Definitely. And finally, like any new platform, its success really boils down to adoption. Do people actually find it useful? Does it really make DeFi easier or better than the existing ways? They need users to prove the concept.
User adoption is always the big one. So, looking ahead, what's on Orbit's roadmap? What's their future vision?
They've got some pretty ambitious stuff planned. They're talking about automated agent wallets. The idea seems to be wallets that can manage funds across multiple chains automatically, running complex strategies.
Oh, okay. That sounds powerful.
Yeah. And they're also developing specific strategy agents, pre-built ones, focused on popular things like yield optimization or airdrop farming.
Making it easier to deploy common strategies.
Exactly. And maybe the most interesting is expanding that custom agent creation using the skill tree,
Right.
really letting users build and maybe even share their own specialized DeFi tools.
More user empowerment.
Right. Their whole vision seems wrapped up in this orbit anywhere idea.
Yeah.
Effortless, automated DeFi that you can access from, well, anywhere on any device.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've taken a deep dive into Orbit, ticker RIFT-ET. It's a Solana project using AI agents to try and make cross-chain DeFi much less daunting.
Yeah, using natural language prompts, integrating with a huge number of protocols across tons of chains.
The GRFT token fuels it, paying for agent actions, letting you build custom agents, and giving you a vote in governance.
And it's backed by founders with backgrounds in both AI and crypto, navigating this emerging DeFAI space.
They're definitely aiming to extract away a lot of that technical headache for the average user.
That's the core pitch, absolutely.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How could AI like this fundamentally change the way we all interact with DeFi down the road?
It's a big question.
If platforms like Orbit succeed in making these complex things feel simple, almost invisible, what kind of completely new financial strategies, new ways of using DeFi might pop up? What behaviors emerge when the technical barriers fall away? That's something to chew on.